benefit that an assessee is getting, the later legislation prevails. And in light of that, sir, the double taxation avoidance agreements, the DTAAs, that India has signed with various countries, through which foreign investment in India has been promoted, have been looked down upon simply because of the fact that through the new direct tax code, any company in India that was deriving benefits of these double taxation avoidance agreements may not be able to do so once the direct tax code comes into being. And secondly, sir, there is a new concept that the direct tax code has brought in, which is called the general anti-avoidance rules. Yeah, that's right, the general anti-avoidance rules that state that if the income tax department feels that any transaction is such which has been undertaken specially to avoid tax, the income tax authority will have jurisdiction to take cognizance of that offence and impose any penalty or impose tax at whatever rate that it thinks is right. I would just like to get your opinion on this, sir. How do you think it will impact M&A activity in India?
I think this question may not concern many of you who have come here for listening on merger acquisition, but I'll answer briefly.
Yes.
But could you introduce first, because my colleague will say.
Right. My name is Dhruv Suri and I'm an advocate. I've been practicing corporate law for some time.
There are two questions. One is that we have tax treaties, tax agreements with about 70 countries. Now they are bilateral agreements. Say India with Bangladesh, India with USA, India with UK, and their provisions are different than the other. Some may be common. Now, under the Income Tax Act, as well as by reading those agreements, it comes that they will prevail, their provisions will prevail over the Income Tax Act. Now, Income Tax Act may have provisions which are less beneficial, the agreements may have provisions which are more beneficial. So, those more beneficial provisions can be availed by a MNC. Now, what has been proposed is that if the agreement is later than the direct tax code, then the agreement will prevail. If the direct tax code is later than, say, some 70 agreements, then the provisions of the direct tax code will prevail. Now, it is whether the government can enforce this provision in the court of law. It is a moot question. I have also written on this subject. I think it will be difficult because those agreements have been entered under Vienna Convention, although we are not part of that convention, but we have accepted broadly the theme behind that. Now, your second question was this GAR, this General Anti-Avoidance Rule. Now, this is not new to the world. It is in USA, it is in UK, it is in Canada, it is in Germany, it is in Australia, and the more stringent provisions. So, they say that if, he has proposed a scheme beneficial to one taxpayer, then that scheme is proposed some other taxpayers. Maybe the Income Tax Department can ignore that scheme if they find that it falls within the parameters laid down by them. Now, again, it is not that it will affect you and me who may take a small benefit of some tax incentive, of contributing to some tax saving scheme. It will impact to big concerns who have taken advice under some disclaimers. So, again, and the law, the court judgments in those countries have said that it cannot be applied in each and every case and at the whim of the revenue authorities. So, they need not worry about that. Thank you.
So, I want to add on the DDP, there are 75 countries at present under which the agreement is there, but they are being reviewed now. As per the finance minister's orders, this committee is being formed to review this double taxation benefits, because like in Mauritius countries, there are some complaints about it as Wala and everything, some use it. That's why this GDP, which is 75 countries are being reviewed.
Good evening, sir. I'm Kshitij Bansal from National Law University, Patiala. I'm a second year law student, so as far as corporate sector regime, legal regime is concerned, I'm a layman. Basically, I have three doubts in my mind. First of all, as far as the motive of this workshop is concerned, the whole story should end up to corporate social responsibility as far as I feel mergers and acquisitions are concerned. Unfortunately, in our electoral system, as far as Indian democracy is concerned, the way Sir told about Air India or the POSCO's inside story, a layman or the farmer whose land is being acquired by the particular company, he never knows about such things going on inside. And in this 60 years post-independence era, any corporate issue, be it affecting public at any level, it has been never an issue in election. So my question or the doubt or a clarification is, like having such a powerful legal fraternity in our country, there is no such forum existing which can bring such issues to the public domain to tell a layperson like me, layman like me, that okay fine, your language or your religion is not the issue for you to vote. This is the issue that 50,000 acres is being acquired and farmers are not being paid adequately. You should vote on that basis for your particular government. This is the particular clarification. Thank you.
Was it not the question in the West Bengal elections? So Mamata Banerjee won. Any other question? Please.
Sir, I don't have any question. I'm just trying to understand. My 1 hour sitting and hearing the conference and really appreciating, and very well said, development versus decline. That was the topic, in fact, to be honest. I remember traveling to New York about 15 years ago, and I was called a man from land of snake charmers. And I remember traveling to New York about 2 years ago, and I could understand the land of third world leader. And vis-a-vis, when I really find it out, I have clients who have been traveling all over the world with their bags and trying to acquire. Are we trying to really tell to our people as of now that come on, if you can't win hearts here in India, please don't go away from India and start acquiring in other countries altogether. One way we are trying to say the global village, a family, vis-a-vis we are trying, don't come here man. But yes, our people go anywhere and acquire whatever you want. So that's a very big question in my mind. Please clarify, sir.
See, I would be very candid because unfortunately we are in a society where majority of the people, and especially the educated class, is incapable of understanding the difference between criticism and condemnation. Moment you criticize somebody, criticism is a activity which is undertaken without any preconceived bias. Condemnation is something which is done with a preconceived malice. Now people have to understand the difference between that. Having done that, then you have to have your knowledge base in place. Nobody is trying to criticize anybody. I am only trying to share some information. And if that is not palatable to the people, I can't help it. Because I shall be failing in my responsibility if I do not share what I genuinely feel about the issue. We want growth, there is no two opinion, but there is an act called Environment Protection Act. It says sustainable development. Development at what cost? And what is the definition of development? Does development means only more traffic jams, more roads, more number of cars? What is the quality of life? What is the ultimate parameter of quality of life? The kind of life I lived in Delhi 20 years back, it is definitely, I may have a better car, I may have more number of cars, but the quality of life is deteriorating day by day. So the basic issue is development at what cost? The air we are breathing is deteriorating. The water we are drinking is deteriorating. I never saw anybody carrying these bottles. Today, like small children, everybody carries a bottle like this because you can't afford to drink the water available on the roadside. So development we definitely need, but protecting the basic parameters of development.
Can we have the last question? But we will have flying cars and we are ready with moon also. So just keep in mind that also.
The last question, but it should come from the ladies. They have not spoken. They have not put any question. Please, last question.
So many agreements are made in India with the MNCs or others in the name of development or acquisition or demerger or amalgamation, in the reference of to bringing the money or bringing the capital from outside India or foreign capital to introduce in India. My question or my clarification is it not possible to that capital generated from India? This capital may be generated from India through the lower level to uplift the poor man or to uplift
May I think somebody told me in the earlier session that the saving rates in China is 46% against about 28% in India. So sometime when you are short of domestic capital, you have to borrow, and sometime for technology, since we were not able to come up in the technology field as much as Western countries have done, so for that has also to be imported.
Sir, my question is, yes,
Sir, I am answering your question, sir. And I have understood what you asked. But I am giving you a suggestion rather that will be your answer. Sir, please.
Just a minute. They are bringing only 5% of capital in India.
So I am not the bother for statistics. Statistics people will take care of that. I am just pulling your wisdom. Let noble people from all sides come. I am talking in a Rig-Vedic terms to make India happy and prosperous.
Yeah.
That can satisfy your question, I think. All the noble persons, noble industrialists, they should come to India to make India happy and prosperous. That should be our aim and vision. That is my answer to your question which you have raised. And that is also my hope that India will be a prosperous and happy nation. And it will also be answering your question also. Let the others also come, but with a great motive to serve the country of this great nation. Thank you, sir.
Even Obama has taken this step. He, the professionals should not come from India because they are losing the development of America.
Can we now wind up?
We'll go to tea.
Can we wind up the session? Now before we wind up, we thank the audience for giving us opportunity to share our views. I thank Mr. Arya, Mr. Mantri and Mr. Biswal for taking the trouble of being in the diet and sharing their views with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President. Thank you, sir.
Professor Mohammad Shabir, Dr. Yogesh, Mr. Ashraf Ahmed Sheikh, I request Professor Paul to start the session.
The distinguished speakers on the dais, my colleagues, it's a pleasure to be with you all this evening. When I was told to chair the session, and when I was given the topic, world-class legal education, issues and challenges, I for once thought that perhaps this is a topic which is absolutely full of contradictions, because I have a gut feeling that you cannot have a uniform and a universal system of legal education, given the fact that the resources